Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and welcome to Alive Not Live. I am headed to another track meet tonight, and wish me luck because the weather is not looking great. But I've got my winter coat packed, so we'll be okay. All right, I just have to throw my Stampin' Lips on here. See if we can stay in the lines today. I will be back live next week, I'm pretty sure. I mean, like 95% sure. So I know I've had a few people asking if Carl qualified for his big meet, and no, he didn't. He was pretty sad about it. So they take the top 16 teams, and he was like 17th. So that was kind of rotten. But he ran his best race last week, and they were missing two of the four guys that usually run that race were not running because they were gone for robotics worlds. And so he did not make it, but he did a really good job. Today he's running the mile, and so we're really excited about that because he's only run it once this year, so I think he's going to do a great job. And weather's not ideal. It's cool and a little blustery. We had such a wonderful summer kind of weekend where we are, and today it's cold again. It's 44 degrees, so that's a little brisk with when the wind creates a wind chill. But I will keep you posted on how it's going. If you watch my Facebook business page, I'll make sure and let you guys know. So anyway, I had a lovely weekend with my family, got some fun things taken care of around the house that maybe have been waiting for a while. I did some knitting, did a little Netflixing, and so that was great. I binge watched two shows. One was The Flight Attendant. I had watched the first episode a long time ago and then just kind of forgot to get back to it. That's not on Netflix, that's on HBO. And so I watched a bunch of that, and I'm excited to continue watching because I know there's another season, and I've not even finished the first season, so that was pretty good. And then yesterday, I forgot that I was watching the Flight Attendant because I probably would have kept watching that. But then I realized I wanted to watch that Anna show, Inventing Anna. That's interesting, like really interesting. So I didn't quite finish that, so I'm excited to finish that up maybe sometime later this week, so we'll see. Anyway, I do have some really great projects to share with you today, if I can just say. And I also have some fun things happening coming up, so I would love to get you involved in some of these things. So pretty exciting stuff. Of course, the new catalog is about to launch. It launches next week, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's see. Let's pull up the old calendar and figure it out. Because this is really important. It launches on Tuesday. Yeah, that's what I figured. So, yay! So Tuesday the 3rd, I'm very excited. And of course, we have a new catalog launch party planned for you. It is going to be awesome. We've tweaked a few things. We've got all the favorites that you've come to love and expect. And we've increased our number of lives. We're going to make them shorter, but a lot more of them. And we have a very special guest coming live. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I can't even tell you. So I can't tell you who it is, but it's going to be amazing. And if you have never done one of our new catalog kickoff parties, this is the one you need to do. We've got so much stuff jam-packed. And the best part about it is that there's little things going on every single day, or you can just watch and you can binge, just like Netflix. You can binge all the content. When it's over, you can check in as you go, whatever you want. So it's a really great deal. Of course, all the stuff will stay there forever, so you can come back to it whenever you'd like and revisit all the fun and shenanigans that are bound to happen. So I'll have a link for that in the description of our video. I'm going to flip my camera for you, and then you can follow with me. So give me 1 second. Okay, so our new catalog launch party is going from May 3rd to the 20th, and it's going to be a really, really fun event. Like I said, so much content is planned for you, tons and tons of inspiration from that new catalog, so you're going to love it. Also, I have my In Color Club Your Way. You can subscribe now through May. And you can choose from 5 different options, whatever works best for you. And there's a lot of options. I've had questions, can demonstrators join? Yes, they can, because you really can customize this club to be however you want. And so all the details will be I've got them on my blog, so I'll actually link to that. And if you want to register, just drop me an email and I'll send you the registration link. I also sent the information about this and everything I'm mentioning today. I sent that out in an email earlier today. So if you're on my email list, check that out. Okay. Also, I always do product shares. And so this year, I will be doing an annual catalog paper shares. There's a few different options for that as well. So check that out and get in on this. It's going to be really fun to have a sample of all those new papers. There are some really, really great papers, and we don't even have all of them yet. So I'm very excited about this. As always, there's lots of fabulous goodies that come in this. They are 6x6 sized sheets, so you don't feel the guilt of cutting into them, which is wonderful. There's also some 4x6s, but most of them are 6x6, like all but one is 6x6. So it'll be pretty great. So you want to get involved in that. Of course, if you have not finished your shopping from the current catalog, I have a special where you can get these new glossy gems. Oh, here they are. They really are glossy. I like that as a name because they're just very shiny. Anyway, these are a brand new embellishment that's coming in the new catalog. And if you spend $75 or more in my online store through the end of this month, you will get a package of these for free. So that is a great deal. I have my Sunshine and Creativity Delivered subscription box is going to be focusing on the new in colors for the month of May. Your box ships in May. You got to register by April 30th. And we're going to do some really fun projects, again, featuring those new in colors. So I highly recommend you join this. I've gotten so many wonderful comments about my Sunshine and Creativity Delivered boxes. It is such a fun subscription. You get a beautiful box of goodies in your mailbox every month. There's a fun, they're fun and uplifting. I'll tell you that. It is literally sunshine and creativity delivered to your door. There are fun goodies in there. There's always a cute little treat that we create for you. There's also pre-cut cardstock to make 5 to 6 projects each month. And of course, there's video tutorials. The best part is when you subscribe for 6 or more months, you will get a treat from me. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, this is a really great opportunity to have fun with me. And then we also do a quarterly Zoom. Our next one will be coming up shortly here. So I'm looking forward to that. And you get a chance to just stamp with me on Zoom, ask me questions, whatever questions you have, I will answer for you. So it's lots of fun. All right. I also have 2 online classes that come out this week, which I'm excited about. I've got the On the Horizon Creativity to Go kit. We're going to make a project today. This is a really wonderful bundle. I cannot believe it's not going to be featured in the upcoming catalog. So I really recommend you get in on this. You can get so much inspiration from the class that I'm doing. I'm really excited about it. So check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. And then my other online class is the Fun Folds online class, which is available at the end of this month as well. We have some really cool fun folds. We're going to do a real simple fun fold. Last week I did a fancy fun fold. I'll show you that here in a minute. But it's a great opportunity to get pre-cut cardstock to make all those cards that maybe you might not do, you know, on your own. I'm just saying it's possible. So anyway, check that out. Links to all this stuff will be in the description of this video. So you can check that out and get registered for some of those fun events. I did mention a fun fold, and this is the one I showed last week in my live, and this is such a cool fun fold. So let me show you how it works. So I'm going to pull the belly band off, and then I'm going to open this up, and you've got all these cute little pockets that you can decorate. And this was all created with one 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. I mean, plus the pieces of white, but one sheet of cardstock did this. It's pretty simple. I think when I was showing it last week, in the process of making it, people are like, what? But then when they saw it at the end, they're like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I have a challenge, a card making challenge for this fun fold in my Stamping with the Creativity Cave Facebook group, which many of you are members of already. If you're not, again, links in the description. But we are you can make your own version of this. So there is the template that I used to make this with measurements and everything listed in my group. So you can check that out. And I'm giving away a drawing for a free bundle out of the new catalog. So if you haven't done this yet, like, get on it. Check that out. You have another week to get your project created, and then I will draw a winner, and then you can choose your favorite bundle out of the new catalog as a prize. Okay, so let's get stamping. Like I said, I've got some really great projects to share with you today. I'm so excited. We are going to do a fun fold here in just a little bit. My first project is one that I kind of have had in my head for a couple weeks. I had some leftover stuff sitting around from my last Sunshine and Creativity box that I wanted, or Sunshine and Creativity Delivered box that I wanted to do something with, but I didn't quite have it all worked out. So long story short, we're going to make a cool card. So I'm going to start with a half a sheet of thick white. You know, that is my fave, especially with spring being in the air. It is such a happy card color or card base for a bright, happy card is what I'm trying to say. And man, that's not coming out right. Sorry. Okay, so I've got this really awesome card. Now, I had a cool color combination that was partially from last week's live, and then the color combination was from last week's live, and then the idea was from like I said, my Sunshine and Creativity Delivered boxes from recently. So anyway, I heat embossed this sentiment, and this is from the Slim Sayings bundle. This sentiment on 5 colors of cardstock, because there's 5 lines in the sentiment. So I embossed it with white powder. I did that 5 times. And since we're not live, I did it ahead of time and you didn't have to watch me do it, which I think is kind of cool. Anyway, I'm just going to trim this out, and then I'm going to kind of piece these colors, all different colors, back together. Okay. And I'm not doing a very good job at cutting this out, but that's all right. I do like using my paper trimmer to help me get nice squared off edges on my cardstock though, so I don't trim. Gosh, that's bad. Here, you know what? We're going to have to do it. I cannot use this piece. It's just terrible. Okay, so, but you know what I could do is I could use, well, no, we're just going to redo this. Okay, so to stamp this, I'm going to stamp it in, sorry, now my trimmer's in my way. I'm going to stamp it in Versamark and then heat emboss it with white powder, which I do have handy right here. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp. I only need the top part of the sentiment. And then I'm going to what I'm trying to share with you is I'm going to do each section in a different color. So the word you is going to be in Daffodil Delight, and then the rest of the lines of this sentiment are going to each be in a different color cardstock. So all white embossed. So I stamped all of them with Versamark. I'm heat embossing them with white powder, and then I just trimmed them out. But because I was jibber-jabbering while I'm talking on my video, I totally cut it crooked. And I cut off kind of the bottom of those letters, and I just could not let that stand because this card is going to be so awesome. You'll see. I couldn't leave it like that. I mean, I have some pride. Like, I'm not anal about certain things, but that one, oh, I couldn't let that one go. All right, so let's try to do this again. This time, paying a little more attention. There we go. That was a good cut. Good job, Dina. Okay, and then I'm gonna just, slice right through here. Ooh, look, I could still use the first one. That's good news. Okay, the rule of thumb is you can see through the cardstock, so you should be able to figure this out. Right? I mean, like, you should. I'm just going to cut a teensy bit off of that. Okay, there we go. All right, so now look at that. Oh, so much better than that, right? Okay, so now my color combination was a good one. I mean, if I can just say. So I've got the Good You, Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, the color that lets us know God loves us, and then Bermuda Bay. So you are one of a kind, and I cut all those words out ahead of time so you didn't have to watch the whole process unfold. I mean, just some of it. And I'm going to put that on my card, but I'm going to add some white die cut pieces. So I've got some butterflies that I die cut out of white cardstock. This is from the Butterfly Brilliance, or Brilliant Butterfly Dies or something like that. Anyway, one of my go-to sets, to be completely honest. And so I cut those all out, and this looked great on here, white on white, but I thought it could use a little something. So I'm going to actually pull those off, and I cut some of this layering vellum, and we're going to put a layer of that on here. Now this was left over from my sunshine box that I was telling you about. Our last one was about vellum. So we did cool projects with vellum. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere that. This piece is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, then I'm going to take and add my, oopsies. Then I'm going to add my butterflies. So I just die cut. I actually die cut all the butterflies. I'm just going to set that there. I'm not going to press it down quite yet. I did all the intricate ones, and then I kind of decided which ones sort of fit the best on here. And there we go. I just want to make sure I've got these lined up nicely so that they're not crowded and they're kind of centered nice on our little panel. Okay, so I'm just going to press those down because I'm feeling good about them. Okay, so that looks awesome. Now each of these pieces I'm going to now adhere going down like so. Okay, so I am going to cover up some of this, and that's okay. Now I'm putting the dimensionals on here, but I'm not adhering them down quite yet because we want to kind of verify that everything's going to fit before we start adhering and making sure nothing's like lined up all weird. You are one of a kind. How pretty is this? So I love that these are popped up on here. Okay, and you can either space these out evenly, or you can You can kind of do whatever you want, but I love the colors. Okay. So we'll just pop those down. And then, I mean, we're going to embellish, let's be honest. We have to. You are one of a kind. Oh. So isn't this just super fun? I just love I love the colors. So I'm going to grab one of my faves, as you probably know, the iridescent rhinestones. Oh, these are so pretty. I love these because they're just really shimmery and they kind of just go with whatever is in the background of the card, you know, like they just match a lot of different stuff. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then let me pull out some small ones. One more small one up there. Okay, so look at how fun that is. I mean, a really simple card. I love the white on white with the touch of vellum. It just adds a nice little touch, and it's just such a pretty card. So this is my first project, and I just love it. Love, 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 love. Love the kind of fun, bright color scheme. Again, Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, the color that lets us know God loves us, and finally Bermuda Bay. So there you go. That's our first card. All right, our second card is going to feature the scalloped contour dies. I actually used this last week on my Coloring Rain Boots die card, and I just love these dies. They're really versatile, and you can get a lot of great use out of them. So we're actually going to use those on the next 2 cards. Well, because I had them out. I mean, you know how it is. And by the way, all of these leftover pieces from, heat embossing this, I can use to recreate that card multiple times and just change up the order of the words. So I can make 5 cards based on what I've embossed already. So I've held on to these pieces, so I can continue to make that card. Okay, so our next card was a guest request. I continue to have people want to see more from the Artfully Layered bundle. This is another really wonderful bundle, not carrying over into the next catalog, which is just crazy. It's in the mini catalog right now, and I really like this. Of course, the dies that go with this set are really wonderful. But I'm going to use just the stamps for today's card. And this is my fun fold, which is going to be pretty simple. Let me start with my card here. I want to score this. I've got just a half a sheet of Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to score that at 1.5 inches and then 5 3/4 inches. Okay, so scoring at 1.5. Okay, and 5 3/4. Okay, so we'll score that. All right. And then we're going to fold this in. Okay, to create kind of a cool little fun fold. So the 2 layers should meet right in the middle, and if they don't, use your bone folder to convince them. I know my bone folder can be very convincing sometimes. All right, I've also cut a 1 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of designer series paper twice from the Artfully Composed DSP that coordinates with this whole suite of goodies. And we'll stick that down like so on here. We're going to center it up though, and it is not currently centered. Oh my goodness. Here we go, Dina. You can do it. You can do it. There we are. Okay. Now I cut 2, so I'm actually going to open this up and repeat with the other piece. And I love that it kind of carries that pattern to the inside of our card as well. Okay, so we'll close that back up. Now on this panel, I've also cut a piece of designer series paper. This one is, I think, 2 3/4 or 2.5 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then we'll attach that right here, like so. Okay, so this is like a gatefold card. And I guess you could put another panel right there. I did not, but you could. And then I've got a piece of white that's going to go in here eventually, but we're going to stamp on it a little bit too. Okay, now I have die cut myself one of the scalloped rectangles, and then I also have a layer of white that's going to fit right in the center of that. And this piece is 1 7/8 by 3 1/8, and we're going to do, as mentioned, the stamping on this. So I'm going to grab my grid paper here. I love this mini grid paper. This is in our catalog. It's supposed to go in the Stamparatus, but where I actually use it the most is just, I can't have a whole big grid paper, but I can have a little one on my table. Okay, so we're gonna stamp this big stamp. Ooh, and it's dirty right now, so let's clean that real quick. Let me get out my stamp cleaner. I've got my super old Stamp and Scrub. There are newer versions of this, but this one's all cracked and broken, but it still works. That one is about, it was probably one of my first purchases as a demonstrator 23 plus years ago. So memories is so nice. Okay, I'm going to ink this up with some Old Olive ink. And I love this stamp because there's really cool texture kind of built into the stamp. And we're just going to stamp it on here. It's going to go off the edge just a hair, and that's okay. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? So you can see there's texture built into the stamp, so it's not solid, which I love. I really enjoy when they do that to our stamps. Okay, I also have an inch scrap of this designer series paper too, the same pack that we used here. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment right over the top. This time I'm going to use Evening Evergreen, one of the coordinating colors in this paper, and then of course our card base. And then we're going to come back and stamp the center of our card. So I'm going to kind of go off to the one side, just making sure. Okay, happiest birthday wishes. Then we'll banner the end of that. Set that aside. And then on the inside of our card, we're going to do a little stamping as well. I'm going to ink this up in some Old Olive, which is what we used here. And I stamped off a layer. And then I'll put, a couple of these. Now I'm re-inking and re-stamping so that I don't get weird lines on here. There we go. So I've just got a couple of those. And then from our stamp set, I'll pull, I didn't have this one mounted, I guess. I'll pull that leafy image and we'll stamp that on here in some Evening Evergreen, which is just kind of adds a nice little touch and sort of pulls all the stuff together from the paper. Okay, we'll close up our ink pads. And then I'm going to adhere this to the inside of my card. Okay. We'll go right in here like so. And you could put another piece of designer series paper here, but I chose to leave it blank. No biggie. Okay, so we've got this. Now we're going to attach this layer to this layer. I think I'm going to pop it up. And then we'll add our sentiment. Ooh, so close to finishing off this sheet. Oh, here, I had a couple sheets. We'll finish this one off. I love when that happens. I don't know what it is, but it's very satisfying to completely use a sheet of dimensionals. It just is. So I love using these edge pieces because They work great. Okay. Well, stick that one down. And then we're going to attach this to our card. Now I'm going to be careful to ensure that I'm only adhering the one side of this so that my card opens. Oh, always the most important part of any fun fold is to make sure the card does indeed open at the end of this process. Okay, so I've got that on there. That looks good. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my chevron ribbon. This is chevron weave ribbon, pardon me. It's in the annual catalog. It's going to be discontinued here shortly. So if you like it, get yourself a little bit of it. What I love about this stuff is that it's really, it's got that nice little texture in the chevron weave. Can you see that? Which is just kind of makes it interesting. But I don't want it to be too thick on my card, you know, and make a big lump. So I'm just going to put a little, like a little loop of it basically on here. Okay. Now to adhere that, I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive below, and then we'll cover the rest of that up. Okay. Just got to put it at a little steeper angle so that it shows up. There we go. That'll look great. There we have it. Okay, as mentioned, I was going to just punch the end of this to create the banner. So we'll do that, and we'll do it a couple times since it was a little longer than we needed. Ooh, perfect. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this with a couple dimensionals on the one end, or so, and then maybe just some adhesive in the middle to hold it into place like that. Oh, yes. Yay! I'm digging it. Okay, so there we have our card so far. Now, of course, we need to, I'm just gonna burnish these edges a little bit more to help it lay flat. Of course, once you've stuck it in an envelope, it'll do a much better job. But I'm gonna grab some champagne rhinestones to embellish this with. Ooh, let's see here. Got a couple sheets of these. All right. So we'll just put a couple on here like so. And maybe another one up there. And there we go. And this, I think, needs one more thing. And that's a little spritzing. I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen marker. And I'm just going to give this card a spritz. Okay. There we go. Let's do a little on the inside as well. Ooh, that was a good one. And there is our card. Oh, super fun layout. Isn't that great? So I really like this one. Hope you do too. Okay, so that was our second card. Don't forget to get registered for the Fun Fold class that we've got coming up this week or later this week. It is really wonderful. Some really great projects. Okay. This next card was inspired by a swap that I received. I believe this was from our retreat. Pretty sure it was. Let me just stick these back. You know, I got to clean up a little. I've been trying so hard to like really clean up after, like in between things. I'm getting there. I'm not like anal yet, don't worry, but I'm getting better at cleaning up my space in between projects and keeping a tidier workspace. It's not easy, I'll tell you. Okay. So my next card, as mentioned, was inspired by a card I received from Kathy. I'll show you the final version at the end. But it's going to be with the Daffodil Delight stamp set. And this is such a great set because I don't know where you live right now, but where I live, daffodils are just starting to pop through the ground, which is so wonderful. And I'm going to need a big old block for this one. Could probably throw it on my Stamparatus too, but I got a block, so we're good. Okay, so I wanted to create this with, as mentioned, the Daffodil Daydreams stamp set. I love this one. I've got a class that you can get registered for here pretty shortly. So watch my blog for information on that. But it's a really wonderful class that uses both the stamps in the set as well as the really cool dies to create those beautiful daffodils. So we're going to start off by going ahead and taking our big daffodil here and stamping it in some black memento. I want to color it with my Stampin' Blends, so that's why I'm going to use my memento. And I'm actually going to kind of put it on a weird angle on the scrap so that I can die cut this. Okay, so I'm going to give that a moment to dry with my black ink. And then what I want to do is put the rest of the card together. Now I took 4 pieces of designer series paper and I drew a little diagram for this. Note, not to scale. So I took 4 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 inch DSP and I cut them so that there's 1 1/4 inch. So I just cut 1 1/4 inch off on the one end. And then I cut, so then there was this piece and this piece left. I cut this one at 3 inches, and then I cut this piece at 2 inches. Okay. And the reason I'm showing you all of this is because you can take and do the same thing, and then you can make 4 different cards out of this. Kind of like our first card, you can just switch out the pieces. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece here and this piece here. And then this piece here. Or no, let's see. This piece here. And then lastly, this piece, or this piece, I could do this one. Doesn't matter. Or this one. Kind of like that one better. And so now I've got this fun little kind of grid of designer series paper. And look at these bright colors. So this is from the Brights designer series paper stack, which I believe is 40% off right now. It's either 20 or 40. So a great price point. And so you're just going to cut and then kind of rearrange those pieces. And then each one, you know, has the different piece in the different spot. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere those down. And then you can change them up however you want. Pattern-wise, you could have them all be the same. I kind of like the different patterns. Okay. And then this just makes a fun color combination. Again, bright and cheerful. And then, of course, these are the colors we're going to use to color in our daffodils. Okay, so there's a beautiful card base. So I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to come back to this. And then I can, again, use the leftover pieces to repeat, just different colors in different spots. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move those aside, and then let's give this a coloring. So I'm going to start with my Granny Apple Green. And, oops, I'm going to start with my dark first. So I've got Granny Apple Green. I've also got some Daffodil Delight. I've got some, there is not mango, but there is, I think I've got all the leaves, yeah. There we go. There isn't Daffodil Delight, but there is, or I'm sorry, there isn't Mango Melody, but there is Daffodil Delight. Goodness, I was having a hard time getting all that out. We got it though. We're good now. And so we'll use these colors to blend. So pretty. I love how happy Granny Apple is for a green, by the way. Old Olive is definitely a wonderful color, but Granny Apple Green is just kind of a happy color, which I like. Now you could also make this card, but with the die cut pieces versus coloring the image that I'm coloring. You could definitely die cut these, and that would be, and by the die cuts I mean, you know, like the images of the pieces that make up the daffodil versus the coloring them. So you do it on color cards, and never mind, you get what I'm saying. Okay. I'll stop talking. Okay, so let's do some of these. We'll do a little pink and a little bit of daffodil. So I just want a little bit of pink on a couple of these. And then the rest in daffodil. I'll blend this out. So pretty. So when you're watching this, though, please comment like you normally do. Even though I'm not live, I will for sure be going through them. And I love reading your comments and hearing from you. Let me know what you think about today's projects. We've got one more after this. And of course, if there's anything you want to see for next week too, let me know, because I would like to know. Just going to put a little bit of yellow at the top. This is my dark daffodil. And then we'll kind of blend that out with our light. Oops. Oh. And those kind of blend together, not too bad. So if I needed to, I could put the color lifter kind of over that border between them to kind of meld the two colors together if necessary. But I think that looks pretty good. I love adding a little bit of pink in here since we had it in our DSP. I think that'll look nice. Of course, you can add it lots of different ways, but that's just the way I chose to do it, was just adding a little touch here and there. Now, I know daffodils probably don't come up pink. At least the ones I've seen, they're all yellow or yellow and white. But you know what? It's my card, and I can make it whatever color I want. And it makes me happy. you have to tell me too if you've seen that Inventing Anna show. It's pretty good. It's kind of like, wow, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And I guess it's based on a true story. I don't know how much of it in the show is true, but very fascinating. I always kind of marvel when people feel like they can get away with crazy stuff like that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of pink in this one because I can. And now just to kind of blend it all a little nicer, I'm just going to dab some of the color lifter on here. And that will just kind of help bleed the two together a little bit more seamlessly. The two colors, that is. Okay, there we go. All right, now what I want to do with this is take and die cut it. And of course, thus the dies in here. Die cut out this shape, which is just lovely. I love when there's a die to cut stuff like this out. I'm going to take a Post-it and kind of hold it together. Let me run this through my machine quick. And voila. Okay, oh, doesn't that look so... I just love the bright springy colors. Now, of course, we're going to put a little clear Wink Stella on here because everything's better with a little bit of sparkle. So I'll put that on the flower sections. Okay. Now, I have die cut a couple of these pieces. So I've got a white and a black piece, and we'll put these two together. But I'm going to adhere this on kind of off to the side, just a touch, so I can put my sentiment on here. And our stamp set comes with Easter and Mother's Day. So if you are kind of over that, we can pull out a different sentiment set. And I'm actually just looking for something that I want. Ooh, this is actually, I'll give you a little sneak peek. This is the limited edition stamp set. This is coming in the next catalog. And I kind of like this, a paper hug from me. So I'm going to stamp that right there, which is kind of fun. And I think will fit really nicely. This is the stamp set that's got the Angel Policy stamps in it that you can use if you sell your cards. And then you can stamp on the back of your cards, which I think is nice. Okay, so I will stamp this in Granny Apple Green. On here, like that. I probably should have done that in black now that I think about it, but you know what? It'll be okay. Oh, and look, we're going to finish up another sheet of dimensionals. Happy dance. Okay, do I have a brand new sheet? Oh, look at that. So nice. You know I love my dimensionals. Oh, they make me happy. On the free shipping day, I might have bought like 50 packages of them. And I would say I'm kidding, but I'm not. I actually bought 50 packages of these. Well, you just never want to be out without dimensionals. That would be kind of madness, right? Okay, so I've got that on there like so. And then I'm going to pop that right up on top of my black. And then we'll pop this, or we'll adhere the black layer. Pop this up onto the black layer and then adhere the black layer to our card. And isn't this just so pretty? It's really fun. And then I'm going to show you another version of this card that I got from Kathy Finley. I really liked her card. It's very pretty. And hers uses the now discontinued, but still fabulous Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. I'm pretty sure that's what that was called. So really pretty. Of course, we need to embellish. Since we used the clear wink Estella, I love putting on these faceted gems, but of course, whatever you want to use will always looks good. I think I'll do the clear ones. Okay, so we'll do a big one and a little one down here, and then a little one up there. And that looks pretty good to me. Oh, love the shimmer on there too. So, another fun card. Yay. All right, I've got one more card. This one's not going to be quite the fun colors, but it'll be super gorgeous and super easy. My favorite type of card, to be completely honest. Okay. By the way, I will have project sheets for all of these projects that we do today on my blog later this week, as well as all the dimensions, all of the supplies I use. So you can download those project sheets right off my blog. So make sure and check that out. It's pretty awesome. And yeah. Okay, so the next card I'm going to do is from the On the Horizon bundle. This is and I mentioned this at the beginning. I've got a class on this month. Such a great bundle. Oh my gosh. It's just so easy to work with. There's so many cool pieces. My class is going to show you some really cool ways to use them, kind of out of the box thinking. And of course, the superstar of this bundle, besides the bundle, is of course the Designer Series paper. It's just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So we're going to do a card kind of showcasing that Designer Series paper. So I pulled this pattern. I really like it. It's got a lot of cool texture and scenery in it. I love the little flowers here in the corner. And so we're going to cut this down to 3.5 inches. Sorry, 3.25 inches. 3.25 inches. Okay. And then I can, of course, use the other piece on something later on. But I'll start with this. And I also want to take and stamp kind of I like to call it the superhero in this stamp set, which is these birds. Like, honestly, this set is good just for the birds, but there's so many other cool things in this set. So you can enjoy more than just the birds, but I really like the birds. So I'm going to stamp my birds at the top here, and I will do that in Evening Evergreen. And what I love about this is it's a great set for masculine cards as well as, just all occasion cards. Okay, so there's my birds at the very top, which looks great. I'm going to take, and this is going to go on a crumb cake card base. And I love crumb cake because it's kind of subdued, but it really showcases that paper. It makes the paper the star. I'm just going to find my bone folder. I think I put it away. What madness is that? All right. And so I've got my card base here. I'm going to take some crumb cake ink and stamp there's a wooden plank image in this stamp set. Okay. And I'm going to use that as a background. So I'm just going to stamp this going down the card like so in crumb cake ink on the crumb cake card base. And what this does is it creates kind of a cool background on my cardstock, which I love. I'm also going to stamp this whole thing because there's a die that cuts these planks out. So I'm going to stamp the whole thing on a scrap of this cardstock, which I just love. And then I'm going to add my sentiment, and the set has some really lovely sentiments as well. Relax and enjoy your day. I'll stamp that in Evening Evergreen right over the top. I'm going to take this and run it through with that plank die on my machine. And then we're going to add it to our card. We're almost done with the card. It's that simple, which I love. I love when cards are super simple. Just makes me happy. Okay, so let me run that through quick. Okay, there we have it. All right, now I'm going to close these up before I get ink all over myself, because you know that's coming, right? Okay, I'm going to put my card together. So I've got my piece of designer series paper. I've stamped on it a little bit. I'm going to kind of line it up onto my card with just a little peak coming out the side. Okay, so let me grab my seal. I know I'm about to run out. We had enough for this. So I'm just leaving that little bit kind of hanging off the end there. Okay, and then I'll trim this excess off. And then we're going to pop this up on here. But first we're going to add just a little scrap of evening evergreen, mostly because we can, but also because it'll just kind of tie everything together kind of nicely. So I'm just going to squeak that in right there and press that down. So I just added that nice little touch. Kind of finishes everything off nicely. And then I'm simply going to pop this up onto my card and trim off the excess. And that's it, a really simple card. You could add some twine to this, but honestly, I just kind of liked how easy it was without any of the extras. Okay, so I've got that on there. And then I'm just going to cut off the rest. Voila. So isn't that a cool card? So simple. Oh, I really can't wait for you to see this class. Again, links in the description of this video if you'd like to get registered for this or my Fun Fold card class. I promise you will not be disappointed with the projects. They are going to be out of this world. So let me bring in the other cards that I made for you today so you can see them all. And don't forget to check out all of those fun things I have coming up, the new In Color Club, the Designer Series Paper Share, and of course the new catalog kickoff. So much fun happening with our catalog launch. So loved the projects today. I hope you guys did too. Thank you for joining me live, not live, or not live, live, not live. I don't know. You know what I mean? I appreciate you being here. If you could give me the thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That would rock my world. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, my friends. Have a great day and happy stamping. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.